We are back. I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to sign on, sign in. Not sure what happened, and you were getting to the good part.
I sure was.
You were getting to the good part. So we'll give everybody an opportunity to come back. Gary Harvey, thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing, brother. Are back. We'll give everybody an opportunity. So I've got. Did you hear that?
Some feedback.
I've got my little engineer guys, my little engineer gurus. They know this stuff backwards and forth, but we got kicked off. Thanks everybody for joining, coming back. Edith Hodges, thanks for coming back. My cousin is on tonight, Michelle Fields. What's up, cuz? Desiree Sandlin, another voice that we're going to be hearing from in the days ahead. Daryl Moore. I don't know if that's my uncle Daryl Moore or my nephew. Either way, thanks for joining in. Coretta Senior, Barbara Gray. Y'all, thanks so much for tuning back in. We got kicked off. It was getting good. And according to my tech guy, it had nothing to do with us. Brandy Williams, thanks for joining. So do me a favor, everybody, being that we were kicked off the first time, I need you to help your boy out. Invite somebody, share. Invite somebody, share.
Let me share you again.
And while you all are inviting, invite somebody, share. It's about to get good. It was already good and getting even better before we got kicked off. All right. I think we're ready. Let me know if anything else happens, sir. Thank you. So, everyone, thanks for coming back. I'm not sure, Angel, if you can see the numbers, but there are about a total of 48 people that are on. The numbers on, I get numbers and reports from each streaming service. So, we've got a lot of people that came back. In fact, more people came back than were on the first time. So, that means we're on the right path.
All right.
Darren Moore, that's my nephew. Dr. Naita Guin, Kendra Brown, Chef Phantom, Celebrity Chef Phantom McClendon. Thanks for joining us, sir. So we had hit a spot. Tell us that story again.
Well, I was just talking about how one of my previous bosses, I expressed my interest in becoming a project manager. And he proceeded to tell me that, and I told him that I wanted to take this test called the PMP, the Project Management Professional Test. And so I told him I wanted to do it. And he was like, well, he was like, number one, that's a very hard test for people to take. And he was like, and I don't think you would pass. And he was like, so honestly, I really believe that you should do something that, something like women do, like a administrative assistant or something,
So
something like that.
let me I've got to unpack this and unpack it right because I want to be clear and I want to make sure I'm understanding you correctly. First and foremost, he said he didn't think you were going to pass, which is an insult to your intelligence.
It was.
So he had already segregated you psychologically based on what he. Now, was this gentleman black or white?
He was black. And if I was to take this test, it would triple my salary, meaning I would make more than my boss.
So everybody black ain't right.
Not him.
So he was a black man. The first thing that he said is he didn't think you were going to pass.
Right.
The next attack was he told you to find something that women do, which is sexist.
Right. He did. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to prove him wrong. Let me do this. I grabbed the book. I brought it to work with me every day for a year. Uh, May, no, not, was it? No, March 5th, 2011, I decided to go in there. I bowed my head before I went in and took the test.
And this is a year later.
It's a year later.
So let me say this.
Every day.
So you decided to take the test a year later. You didn't give up. What was going on in your mind during the interim? You say you decided to prove him wrong, but did you feel some kind of way? Unpack the emotional elements for me.
I felt some kind of way because I felt, number one, he was trying to keep me, to a certain place, to a certain level. And I think in like under $50,000 a year
Okay.
in 2011. And so I wanted to progress. I was like, I've got to do this thing. And I felt some kind of way towards him. I didn't really, and I'll admit, my work slacked for about a year.
So let me. But so did your work slack as a result of his insult?
Yeah, and it kind of lowered my confidence because I'm thinking like, okay, I'm coming to this brother and he's going to be on my side and he's going to help promote me and push me to take this test. But instead, he tells me that I should do what a woman does and become some sort of assistant or something like that.
So I think, and I want to say this to everybody: the worst hatred is the hatred that comes from your own kind. The world is against us. And I don't, and I've said this before, and I'm not going to unpack it here because I want to hear more about some of the principles that you applied to keep moving forward. But the world is against us. We're all we have. We cannot hate each other and side with the world, especially against our queens. And I want to say this to every brother that is listening, every brother that is around. It is your job to protect, to look out for, and to communicate with our queens, no matter what seat you sit in. So a year went by. It did attack your confidence.
It did. It lowered it. I was like, oh, myself. Like, will I ever get out of this place? Because I was already a project professional, and I was even, I had a team. I was a supervisor
Mm-hmm.
at that point, and so I studied every day, and of course, I had to apply biblical principle as well, because of course, everything, I'm a follower of Christ first, and so with me applying those biblical principles and just praying and I even fasted. I was like, I gotta do this. And so a year later, on the 5th of March, I go in to take this test. I bow my head and I ask the Lord, I'm like, Lord, I've been the tail for so long. People have counted me out. People have counted me out in the church and in other places. And I said, Lord, who do you say I am? Can I do this? And I went in there and I took the test. And now this is the funny part. Before you get your results back, you have to wait 30 seconds. So I'm sitting here waiting. Okay. I'm going up in full tongues at this point. I was like, listen. And so then it says, congratulations. You have passed the project management professional exam. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
And so that same day, I went on and typed up my resignation letter. I did not have a job yet, but I politely slid that on to the same brother that told me I couldn't pass the test. Waited a week after I quit and then put it on LinkedIn so he could see it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
So during that year, he made these comments to you a year. Um, what did you learn through that process? Because it had to be heart wrenching, gut wrenching that another black man is trying to hinder a black queen from progressing. I really need you to tell us your mindset and what are some of the practical things that you did in the interim.
Like while I was going through the studying,
Yeah.
well, like, I mean, I really had to rely on the Lord at this point. Because if you're being counted out by everybody,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to your church family, and that's a whole nother story. But and then you have certain women and then men counting you out. It's like the only person you have left is God. Okay, that's the only person I had left.
So your church family, you couldn't count on them.
No,
You couldn't count on the people, obviously, at work.
I could not.
And you were backed in a place basically where you were by yourself.
I was because during that time, keep in mind, like Terrance, I'm telling you, like I was reaching out to people on LinkedIn asking them if they could mentor me, black women and men.
What kind of answers or responses did you get?
I was getting, sure, I'll do this. I'll mentor you. I'll go to a sister. We'll have a session, some sort of Skype session or something. And then they check and they see that I know my stuff and and then there's this intimidation factor that comes into play to where now I can't reach you. Like it came to a point to I went to a study group with some Indian brothers and sisters, a sister from Nigeria, and about three Caucasian sisters. And I went there and shut the group down. And they was like, we no longer want you in the group.
This is funny to me. This is funny because what you're saying to me is that being educated, articulate, knowing your stuff, and being sure and confident, there's a penalty there that gets you kicked out of groups with not only people that look like you, but those that don't.
Right. And Monica Collins, whoever's on, I was her supervisor. She was on there with me, through the storm with me. I mean, everywhere I would go, it seems like people were like, I don't want to, we can't do it. I don't want to, I thought I would be able to mentor you, but I can't.
Did they give you a reason why?
No, ghost. They went ghost on. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it on my own and I'm going to figure it out. And that's what I ended up having to do.
Wow.
And then I ended up mentoring other women because I understand how it feels to be rejected by people. And they have that intimidation. There's enough for all of us.
Yeah.
There is enough success for all of us. And I felt like, okay, once I take this test and once I get there, because again, having this certification can increase your salary 3 times. That was 2011, praise God. You hear me? Cash Money Records. Okay. But I'm just saying, when God seats you somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
can't nobody unseat you. That's all. That's sis. If you got a business, if there's something that God is giving you, and if you're afraid to do, think about the dreams that He's given you. Apply His word to it, and remember that once He sat you there, you cannot be unseated. Nobody, a devil in hell,
Mm.
nor a devil on earth, can unseat you from where God sat you.
So
And I'm happy to be seated here, and ain't nobody gonna unseat me.
I like that.
I'm sorry about that.
Not only did you pass the test, you turned around and resigned.
I resigned the same day. Me and Monica Collins, if you're in the comments, we cried like Nettie and Celie. I left that company, And it was like I was like, you gonna have to take care of yourself, but when I make it, you gonna make it too, sis. I promise.
So you didn't leave that situation bitter. You left that situation saying, I'm going to become better so I can empower other people.
Exactly. And a week later, a company called me and they were like, this was 2011. They were like, so what would it take for you to come and work for us? How much would you charge? How much would would your offer, how much would you want us to offer you? And remind you, I was making under $50,000 at that point in time in
Right.
2011. So to me, I just threw a number. I was like 90,000. They were like, done. I was like, jeez.
I know he will.
I wanted to type, I tried him and I know him, Brandon. Just like you said. Okay. And I know him to be all right after that. So yeah.
So is it safe to say that connected to every promotion, there's going to be a hater? That hater might look like you.
Oh my gosh. Did you just raise your hands, man of God? No, I'm just playing. I'm serious. That's one. It's the truth. Next to it, there's this intimidation factor that we got to get out of that. When we see another, and that goes in every area,
Yeah.
at work, in ministry. You see another female that might be a beautiful woman of God, so you think, hey, she might take my spot.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? In business, you might have a business that somebody else has, but they see you and they see that you have it together, you know your stuff, and then there's an issue. There's that intimidation factor, not knowing that there's room for all of us. And that, sisters, we need each other. We need each other.
Yeah. I think, and I want to say this, and I want to be careful how I say it. More often than the enemy will use whoever he can to try and stop you from reaching the goal or the place where you're supposed to be. And
Mhm,
as sad as it is,
mhm.
you can't, in some cases, get black people to do the right thing.
In some cases, that's true.
But
In some,
what I keep hearing you say was you kept going. You slacked up, but you kept.
I did. I did. I was like, am I going to be defeated or am I going to stay there? Am I going to stay in rejection? You know,
Mm.
am I going to stay in this place of sadness and depression? Or will I, by his grace and by his will I pull myself out and be what he called me to be? It's your choice if you want to stay there, you know? So I wasn't going to stay there. I wasn't going to.
I heard you.
I saw today. I saw this back in 2011. I saw this. So here I am, okay, a business owner of my very own consulting company. So I said back then, I was like, Lord, I'm gonna have my own. Just wait. One day I'm gonna have my own consulting company.
So you spoke. Did you write it down?
I did.
You spoke it. You wrote it down.
Hmm.
Now, what were some of the steps that you took to pursue it?
Well, of course, faith comes by hearing, and so I had to consistently every day. I had to put myself, hey, Angel, you're gonna have a, But I kept climbing up the ranks at my 9 to 5 as well. Um, you know, so I had to, of course, record it. I had to hear it, and I had to strategize and create a strategy for it. There was a point in time where I was going to set it down. I got frustrated because I was like, where's the money coming from for me to do this? What am I going to do? Then I get a prophecy from an apostle,
Mhm.
and he's like,
Was
he
that
didn't even
was that the prophecy that I heard by Joby Brady?
know. Nope,
Somebody else. Okay.
this was somebody else on Periscope.
Okay.
Somebody sent me the Periscope. I started watching it. He said, I have a prophecy for a word from the Lord for Angel L. And I said, well, what is, I was like, And he was like, you're going to own your own company and you're going to work with people's finances. You're going to be helping them with project management and all of that. I was like, whoa, and still my faith was wavering. I was like, yeah, but what about the money, part? Because you need money for marketing, promotion, all of these things.
Yeah.
And so then I happened to go to a church, Embassy City. I went there, and Bishop Joby Brady happened to be there. And he saw me, and he prophesied to me, and he said, I see the strategies that you created. I've seen this. The Lord, thus saith the Lord, you will be an entrepreneur, and you're going to have this company. I see you working with these people, And after that, I started building. I said, okay, Lord, I heard you.
Wow.
I heard. And so my girlfriend, Monica Jackson from Nashville, who's on, she held me accountable. Angel, did you create your strategies? Angel, did you book the set for the, Angel? And, she's like that parakeet in my ear. Even when I didn't feel like it, she still was on me. So it's having a great team of women that you can trust. I don't even got to give them a non-disclosure agreement. You know what I'm saying?
So, so, so what I keep hearing was every time you tried to move forward, there was something there to try and keep you back.
Of course.
In addition to that, I'm hearing you put a strategy together, but you got discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
How did you find the people?
Was actually because the Lord, and I started moving my feet, He'll bring you the people that you need. So the people actually found me.
Really?
And so, yeah, one of them, though, we worked together from, way back. So she was there. And, me and Monica Jackson, we just became best buddies. And so from there, um, she put and set her stuff down for her business
Mm.
to pour into me and to keep me
You,
going.
one of your concerns was where were the people going to come from, the money and all of that, right?
It started coming.
And
The
it
money came. The money came. The people came. I have Taylor Michelle uh, Bell, who is an instructional designer for my company. She is also a minister as well. I have Janae St. Clair. She is an intern at for my company. I have, of course, Monica Jackson, who is the event and production project manager, and I have Mia Harris, who is our human resource
mm,
person. And then last, I have Monica Collins, who is a risk IT manager for my company.
that
So
picture you all together looked like y'all were about to take over the world. It's
listen, we are.
serious.
We're going to take over the world.
I like it. So we have about 7 minutes left. If there was something that you would want to, and I want you to take your time because I don't want you to feel rushed. We got 7 minutes, but we can go over.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a message that you would send to women who are trying to win right now, but they're discouraged, the money's not there, the people aren't there, they're drawing a blank, and in addition to that, everybody that they run to is running away and they feel alone. What would you say to these women?
I would tell you that at first it may seem like you're alone, but God will send you the people. He will send you the people and the finances. He's given you the vision already. And remember, all things are possible to him that believe it. If you can believe, it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Anything is possible for you. And God will send you the people that you need. And you have to encourage yourself daily because you have to understand once you get put on and once you come on, people are not going to be thin. So I wouldn't listen to what any of them folks have to say anyway. You have to encourage yourself, especially starting out. And when you launch, expect not to get all of the support you thought that you would get, but keep moving. You've got to keep moving. Do not stay in despair. You cannot do that because that is unproductive. You'll never get anywhere, and you may stagnate the amount of time it's going to take for you to even to move forward. So do not stay there. Don't stay there. Encourage yourself. And remember, faith comes by healing. I have my company is going to start. We are going to launch in 2021. Even though it's a pandemic, I can still overcome. You've gotta put affirmations to yourself, because if you don't have a core group like I have, you're gonna have to do encourage yourself and put them stickies up on the wall and say them to yourself daily.
Yeah. I never forget. I never forget. First of all, every dream begins with desire. I believe that God gives us the desire.
Mhm.
He plants or downloads things in our heart, and those things that are in our heart, He couples it with passion. But that passion has an expiration date,
Mhm.
and if you don't move immediately, you can really set yourself back because you lose passion. Did that
Mhm.
happen to you?
Yes, that's why I guess the Lord was sending His word through prophets, because I was losing my passion. I was like, okay, I'll just be a senior program manager forever. I'm fine with this life. You know, I'll just forget it. And then one prophet came, and then another prophet came,
Mm-hmm.
and then another prophet. I'm like, okay, Lord, I got you. I'm coming. This is
God pursued you
He
until you got
pursued
to
me.
a place where you believe.
Yes, and I
He wouldn't
believe.
let you go.
No, he wouldn't. And then the last prophet said that I was going to have government contracts and that I would deal with people in Washington, D.C. So obviously, this mission has to be accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that the Lord wants me to do for Him to push this thing the way He has. And so I'm going to continue on full fledged, and I'm going, His will be done with it all.
I like that. I like the fact that you didn't give up. I like the fact that adversity came,
Mhm.
and sometimes when the adversity isn't outside, it's inside. Sometimes it's both.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes we are our worst enemy.
We can be in our own heads and stop being productive.
Um, Doing this process when it was hard for you and you felt like giving up and you didn't want to pursue it, and God kept pursuing you and telling you to do it. At any time, did you feel like you were not qualified?
Yes.
Talk about that.
Okay. So
Because
I I was
at one time the confidence was there and you were prepared. So help us understand, how could you get to a place where you didn't feel you were qualified?
sometimes you can look at somebody else's work and doubt yourself.
Comparison. Wow. Say that again, daughter.
Sometimes you can look at somebody else's work and doubt yourself and doubt your own ability, because you know what? I don't have the marketing money to be this guru like this person. Oh, the way they have that set up. Oh man, I don't know if I will be able to draw the people in. But there's a group, there's a certain group that God has for me, and I didn't realize that I had to come up out of that real quick
Mm-hmm.
with prayer and fasting and different things like that. God was able to move me out of that, and then just start building my confidence up once again.
So I keep hearing you. You talked about Monica Collins, how she was there. So in times when you would get up, God would keep pursuing you, but He also sent people, not just the prophets, but He sent people that loved you and believed in the dream that He had placed in you. Talk about that. Talk about
Yeah,
the accountability part.
man. I call Monica Collins and Monica Jackson both my sisters in this, because Monica had in many occasions she had to help me and help lift me up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the angel that you see now today was a lot because of Monica Collins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, and she was like, baby, lift yourself up, please. Lift yourself up. But he also said, oops, sorry, your thing was going at the same time. But yes, I mean, in Monica Jackson, she's like, listen, I don't know how many times the Lord is going to send me to you to tell you. He told me to tell you to do this, copyright your material, copyright, do this, do that. Like they were on it. They have been on it. So again, like that, I don't even know what I would have done without those two in this season.
So I think I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't stand above correction, but I believe when God gives you a dream, God gives you a desire, He gives you a vision, He plants or He downloads it in your heart. At the same time, He's downloading it to you. He's speaking to other people and giving them a portion of that vision, a portion of that dream, because they're going to have to help carry and bear some of the responsibility ability to make sure you follow through with that. Am I correct?
Yes, and I'll say some of the responsibility that Monica Jackson has. Um, I mean, setting her own business stuff down for to push me.
Hmm.
Like she has a whole event and production company.
Really?
Yes, but being willing to partner with me and to make sure that and stay on me.
Hmm.
She she's a big reason why Halo launched a couple weeks ago.
So God.
I got afraid. I got afraid. It was a big launching a company is huge.
Hmm.
You know, like people don't. You know, if you know what it's like. I mean, being an entrepreneur,
Oh
LLC and attorney and up. You know, getting your lawyering up,
yeah.
payroll, uh, making sure that you paying your taxes
Hmm.
so you don't go to the box. Praise God. So
Yeah.
so you gotta
It's not giving me a prison ministry, so I would never.
I don't want the prison ministry, and I don't want y'all. I don't want to be going live from Fulton County Correctional Facility telling you that sorry, saints. It's a sad day for the church. I'm locked up. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously though, like there's a lot that comes with it, and having that accountability is what helped me altogether.
I just want to unpack everything that I heard you say. I'm gonna give you the last words, and then we will end this. It's winning women. So we started the segment for Wednesdays, but because today's Thursday, I thought it would be better to kick it off here. But from this point on, it's called Winning Women Wednesday, where we highlight women of all ethnicities, but specifically the black woman. And we talk about the things that you've gone through to get where you are, and how no matter what has happened, you still prevail. So tonight I've heard you had the vision, you had a desire, and you were pursuing when a man told you you wouldn't pass the test. Him and his sexist behavior then put on you um, do something that a women do, which I still don't understand, because every man knows, every real man understands that you will only be as strong as the woman you hook up with.
Mm,
Show me a weak woman, I'll show you a weak house.
mm,
Show me a weak woman, I'll show you a weak family, up a weak world. And as a result of that, the family and the strength that the family is supposed to have will be incomplete. So you had them to come out against you. You waited a year, you took the test. After you took the test, you went through this time where you were comparing yourself to other people, looking at how well they were. And in that time of comparing, you started to get discouraged and you wanted to give up, but God pursued you, confirmed his word through several people. Then he began to send you the people that was necessary to get you in the place where you didn't give up. And that meant some of them cried with you.
yes,
They were sad with you,
yes.
but they didn't stay down with you. They helped pull you up.
They pulled me up.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about. And coming through that, you launched Halo. Talk about the business you launched again.
My company is Halo Strategic Consulting Group, and we have a Facebook page, Halo Strategic Consulting Group. We're on Instagram as well, and you can check out our website and look at all of our fantastic. The fantastic layout is www.halostrategicconsulting.com.
Can you type that in the comments so I can put it on the screen?
Can any of my sisters type in that in the comments, please?
If they
And while you're there, if God has put you where He put you, and He sat you where He has you seated, I want you to put "nobody can unseat me" in the comments.
I like that. I'm gonna type that myself.
Come on. Let me type it with you. Praise God.
So no matter how many haters are against you,
Collins and Monica. I'm trying to. Monica Jackson. Sorry.
okay. We understand just because you're brilliant in some things, you may not be brilliant in all.
Listen. The devil is a lie. Was his mammy now?
I'm not gonna tell the people what we had to get through to get you tech savvy.
Oh, gosh, this is my first Facebook Live. This is my first one. So
It's the first of many, and I believe that you gave the people something today, and they're going to be following you. They're going to be listening to you. I love practical information. I think sometimes church folk, Christians, believers, whatever you, we get so deep and stuck on the deep things that we forget the practicalities. And God is really a simple God.
He
You
is.
don't believe He's simple? He gave you two of everything.
That's right.
He's simple. We complicate it. I think we overthink it, but He's a simple God. And I'm talking, and I forgot to do what I said I was going to do. No, seat me.
Who can unseat you? There is when the word of the Lord goes forth, there is absolutely nobody that can unseat you.
I like that. I like that. Powerful. That's extremely powerful. So I'm waiting for them to put your information in. I want to be able to give it before we go off.
Let me put.
Anybody have any questions for her? Does anyone have any questions? While we're waiting for her information, I want you to follow her. Check out her website. Check out her business. You may be in need right now and need her services. I'm telling you, it's nobody better to serve you than someone who understands exactly what you've gone through, because they had to go through it, climb out of it, get on top, and be where they are now. Is any questions, anybody?
And keep in mind, we are a corporate. We do, we service corporate, but faith-based organizations, they need just as much project management, just as much strategic planning. Strategic planning is when you don't know where, you know, you don't know where you want to go within 5 years, but you need somebody to help you get there and help you understand where your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and your threats are. You just may need somebody to help do an analysis with that. Your processes might suck.
Mm-hmm.
We do process improvement. That's taking it, that's analyzing it, and defining new processes and kind of giving your processes an overhaul. Mm-hmm. Human resources. Are there human resources in the church? It should be. There should be human resources in the church. And so should instructional design. So when you take a look at our website, you'll be able to see the services and the things that we offer. But we do offer them to our faith-based organizations and nonprofits. That's where our heart is right now. Those are our people.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Angel, any final words?
Nope. I gave my final word about not being unseated. I want to see y'all putting that down. Don't let, the worst thing you can do is let somebody else tell you something contrary to what God gave you.
Say that again.
The worst thing you can do is listen to a ninja tell you something. If there's always going to be opposition, you have to keep moving forward.
So I want everybody, make sure you go to a website, make sure you all follow her, send her a Facebook request, follow her on YouTube, follow her. I'm telling you, there's something in her mouth that she has that's helped healing the world.
Now, I've been serious this whole time, but I've been, y'all, you know me to be a clown. So when the people of God go to Instagram, and just keep me lifted, all right?
So what drew me and attracted me to Angel was a sense of humor. Y'all got to check out her videos. You got to check out of it. Everybody that knows me, I'm the prankster of the family. I do all of the entertaining when it comes to jokes. But this daughter of Zion, of the seed of Abraham,
Mm,
she may have me beat. She may
mm.
have me beat. But anyway, Angel, I want to take the time to thank you. I want to thank you
You're
for
welcome.
joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for kicking this off. We will have you on again.
Yes, and I'll be back.
And we're going to be doing some work together so you can invite me to the stuff that you got.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, thanks for kicking off. Tonight is our kickoff to Winning Women, where we highlight every woman of every ethnicity, culture. It does not, but specifically, this is designed for the African American queen. I need you to do me a favor. I need you. I need you to tell other people about tonight. Tell them what you got out of tonight. Every Wednesday, we're going to highlight, we're going to feature a woman that is winning somewhere. I think society has undervalued our mothers, our sisters, our queens. And I think it's time for us as men to create platform for our women, because the same thing God put in us, he put in them, because we've always been one since creation. Make sure you join me for coffee time in the morning, 8:30, hopefully. Praise God. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow Angel L. Make sure you check out her website. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for your time. You're born to win, predestined to succeed. Nobody can stop you. Nobody can unseat you. And always remember to think higher, speak life. You all have a blessed night.